A traveling conman has a rough crowd of boys hypnotized. The jokes are getting crude and everything is sliding somewhere dark. And the only person who does anything about it is a teenage John Bosco. The Miracles and Prophecies of St. John Bosco, a project of America Needs Fatima. I'm your host, Adrian Fonseca. Subscribe for new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Welcome to the Miracles and Prophecies of St. John Bosco. I'm Adrian Fonseca. These videos exist to share timeless wisdom from St. John Bosco that can inspire you to grow closer to Christ and Our Lady. Today I want to show you what it looks like when a young man doesn't run from disorder, but walks into it and restores order. That's what John Bosco did as a teenager in the streets of Chieri. And the way that he did it is a masterclass in real influence. Now, let me take you back to the 19th century Italy. Imagine a noisy square in Chieri. A cluster of rough, restless boys crowded around a traveling charlatan. They're shouting and crude jokes and money changing hands. The energy is sliding towards something ugly. These weren't hardened criminals, they were bored young men with nowhere to channel their energy. And that left a vacuum. And a vacuum left unfilled rarely ends well. Idle hands are the devil's playground. Now, imagine one young man, John Bosco, stepping in. He's completely unintimidated. He rolls up his sleeves and challenges the performer to a race, and then a jumping contest, and then climbing a tree. I'll tell you more about the competition in a future episode, but the crowd shifts, and the energy changes. Within a few minutes, the talk that was heading somewhere dark is replaced with cheers and friendly competition. We know that if you don't guide the energy of young men, something darker will. His classmates said he was the soul of amusements. Wherever he went, the energy lifted, but so did the conversations. He used games and tricks and physical challenges as a tool. He redirected rowdy impulses into healthy competition and clean camaraderie. An example of John Bosco's leadership was that there were 4 or 5 young Jewish students at his school, and they couldn't complete assignments from Friday to Saturday night because of their Sabbath. Their incomplete work exposed them to embarrassment and ridicule, and nobody else cared. But John cared, and every Saturday he quietly wrote down their assignments for them. And it was a small thing, but it was consistent and it was genuinely charitable. And eventually, that quiet friendship led one of those boys to seek baptism. On feast days, John would walk through the squares looking for boys from the lower classes. The ones gathering in noisy corners and the ones who might otherwise spend the day looking for trouble. He'd step into their games and he would compete, and then he'd win. And then he'd smile and say he'd return their money that he had just won if they followed him to church. And it worked every single time. His companions were so attached to him that they would wait for him every evening by a little bridge outside Chieri, leaning on the stone wall, scanning the road, hoping to see him approaching. And when John appeared, the mood broke open. The boys who had been restless and quiet would surge toward him, crowding around as he told stories. He'd offer advice about fleeing evil and choosing what's good, but in a manner that made them want to listen, because he'd already earned that right. And if he didn't show up, they went home sorely disappointed. Their parents even used separation from John as a form of punishment. There was no greater loss for these boys than losing his company. So, imagine a teenager with that kind of moral authority. He had it because he demonstrated slowly and consistently, through integrity and charity, that he was worth following. Dr. John Maruco, who knew him personally, testified that he never once heard an impatient or improper word from John. Not once. In a world full of rough boys and coarse language, John stayed above it all. And then he pulled others up with him. Real influence isn't about standing at a distance and criticizing people for being lost. It's about entering their world and proving yourself, earning their respect, and then leading them. John Bosco didn't lecture these boys in the square. He outran them, outjumped them, outclimbed them, and then, after earning their respect, he told them, "Follow me to church." So where's your town square? Where are the people in your life who need someone to walk into the chaos and bring order? Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your workplace. Maybe it's at your parish. What would it look like to lead the way John Bosco did? Before you go, watch the video, A Bit of Courage, Don Bosco tells his boys. In that episode, Don Bosco gives his boys a challenge about standing firm when the world pushes back. It connects directly to what you saw today about the kind of courage that it takes to lead. So click on the video on your screen right now. St. John Bosco, pray for us. May God bless you, and Mary Immaculate keep you under her mantle. God love you.